Since I wrote the book, Elevating Engagement for Member Organizations, I have given the companion keynote, Elevating Engagement, 55 times to tens of thousands of people. Now, you might have been in one of those audiences, or you might not have been in one of those audiences. And what I'm going to do right now is, in just a couple of minutes, I am going to distill the essence of that keynote for you. When member organizations see engagement slipping, the first impulse, the first strategy they always come to is to try to radically improve value. And that might actually not be the problem. Value might not be the thing that members are actually reacting to. It might be something completely different. But before we get into that, I'd like to rewind a little bit, and I would love to dive into your members' minds. So let's talk a little bit about the neuroscience behind how the decision to engage is even made. I would like for you to imagine that your members have two halves of their minds. And on one half is the logical, the rational, the data-driven side of their minds. And the other side of their minds is, it's creative, it's emotional, it's the sensing part of their minds. Now, when we are talking to our members, we have our business hats on, and we like to think that we're talking to somebody that is absolutely logical and data-driven, and they're making super rational decisions. And that's the way we talk to them, it's the way we market to them, it's the way we communicate to them. Here's the interesting neuroscience. So very, very recently, there's tons of new research coming out in business and in law and in policy and government and psychology about how people make decisions. And what they are all finding is that decisions are not made rationally. They're actually made with the emotional side of our brains. That we have emotions, and those emotions are driving our decisions. And that is exactly the same with the decision to engage. That people are having emotions, and they're deciding whether they want to engage or not to engage. Now, the thing that drives emotions is experiences. There's a formula that I have developed over the years, and that's the formula for engagement. It is value plus experiences equals engagement. You might be wondering, okay, what is she talking about when she talks about experiences? And I'm gonna give you one example. This one example is webinars. So what I'd love for you to think about is a really great webinar, a webinar that is super engaging. Every time you deliver a little bit of value, around that little bit of value are all of these experiences. So with our webinar example, the value of the webinar are all of the ideas that you get. And around that value are all of these experiences. A couple of examples of experiences are things like, it started on time. So value, one experience is that webinar started immediately. Another experience is the introductions went super fast so we could get into the meat of the content. Another experience is it's super interactive. Another experience is that the chat is really lively. Another experience is that the speaker is super warm. So every value you put out there, every piece of value you put out there, whether it is a benefit, a article, a piece of research, an event, around that piece of value are all of these experiences. And our job in our member organizations is to curate fantastic experiences. How do you do that? How do you curate fantastic experiences? There's actually a hack. And the hack is to always ask, how do we want our members to feel? So you can try this in many different ways and you can adapt it. So when you're thinking about new members, how do we welcome our new members? Think, how do I want our new members to feel? And answer that question for yourself. And when you answer that question with an emotion, lock that emotion into your brain, and you'll start coming up with ideas that will help your members feel really excited, warmly welcomed, to help you create those experiences. And then you can start adapting it to other places. How do we want our web users to feel? How do we want our longtime members to feel? How do we want our potential volunteers to feel? How do we want our sponsors and our exhibitors to feel? So keep adapting and asking this question, and pretty soon you are going to be creating these lovely experiences which you'll add to your amazing value, and you will boost engagement a lot. Are you ready to dive deeper? Go ahead and join my email list, because every week I'm going to be sending you a tidbit based on the research so that you can keep leaning into building value and curating these lovely experiences for your members, your attendees, your volunteers, your participants. I'll see you in your inbox soon.